This goes to show you don't know what's going on behind the scenes of other people's lives. Even though all the ladies loved Lois during both my parents' deaths, my RHOBH castmates were awful to me. Ooh, now the tables turn. She getting to it. Whew. When my dad died during season 7, I was accused of being a drug addict, and Lisa Vanderpump and Dorit were tag team torturing me. It was rough. The Beverly Hills Housewives posse was even worse after my mom passed. Ooh, now she's getting into it. Okay, Lisa. Now this is the Lisa Rinna that said, "You better believe I'm going to talk about it." Okay, her mother passed, her dad passed, and she's saying that her cast members were awful to her. Lisa is spilling tea. Here we get to the good stuff. The other part was good too, but it was deep. It was really deep. It was heavy. My heart is kind of feeling a little heavy after reading about her parents' death. But now she getting to the messy stuff. Okay, y'all check in, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Whew. I must say though, Kyle Richards called me at one point because her mom had died in hospice. I think you might want to know that we needed to leave the room and tell her it was okay to go before she would go. She wouldn't go when we were all in the room. I hadn't thought of that. So last night in her hospice room, Harry, my girls, and I said our goodbyes to Lois, told her it was okay to go. And that's exactly what happened. We left her that last time, and she went in the morning at 5:05 a.m. I was very grateful to Kyle for that advice. I didn't want to see her body after she passed. I didn't want to remember her that way. But my older sister Nancy said to get my butt in the car and go see her. I'm so glad I did. Now, this is funny. I know Lois would want me to tell this story. So I went into the parlor for my last viewing, and one of her eyes was open and one was closed. She was winking at me. Are you kidding? But I know she did that on purpose for me. My mom and I had one last laugh together. Oh, 3 days after my mom died, RHOBH producers asked me to go to Mexico to film the very first scenes of season 12 with the girls. Who am I kidding? It wasn't an ask. Bravo should have said to me, Lisa, don't worry. I know we're just starting this show, but you take as much time as you need. No, I was being pressured to not only film my mom's funeral in Oregon, but to get my ass on that trip. So I went to Mexico. Are you kidding me? Are you guys surprised? Do you guys believe that Bravo pressured her to go to Mexico? And if so, are you guys surprised by that? Wow. So what did she say? 3 days after her mom died? 3 days after her mom died, she went to Mexico to film, which in hindsight is insane. I was in shock. I had so much logistical stuff to take care of. I mean, how'd you even bury her? The business of wrapping up a life is a full-time job and a really traumatizing one. It is. Thank God for my sister. She stepped in and did all that stuff you need to do because I couldn't make a decision to save my life. And I felt like nobody from the show helps in any way. When I showed up to Conrad Punta Damita in a bikini, nobody said, "Oh my God, you just lost your mother and here you are." In their defense, when they went through traumatizing personal stuff, I wasn't always there for them either. The attitude on the show was, "Okay, we gotta get this done. We gotta be good girls, and we're here to do the work." And I admit, I had played into that mentality too for 8 seasons. But coming back with a new perspective after my mom died, it was just like, "What are we doing?" Yeah, what are you doing when 3 days after your mom passed, you felt like you had to go to work? Like, that's awful. 3 days after her mom passed, she felt like she had to go back to work. That's awful, y'all. If you're just joining us, we are reading Lisa Rinna's book, You Better Believe I'm Gonna Talk About It. We're on chapter 1 right now, and we're gonna continue reading. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed and like the video, you guys. Let's put it in the algorithm. Let's grow our book club, okay? We're on chapter 1. Technically, I could have waited a couple of weeks, then shown up, but they couldn't afford to be without me. They could not have made the show without me. They had to have me, and they knew it. Now she talking mess, honey. Lisa said they had to have her. Lisa said she was the show, okay? They knew it. They had bajillions of dollars at stake, and they couldn't rely on those other women. That's the truth. It's always about money. At first, production was careful with me because my mom had just died 3 days earlier. The producers focused on other things. The Mexico trip was about Crystal Kung Minkoff and Sutton Strack and a bunch of drama I don't even remember. I was a walking zombie through that whole thing. I didn't have my own meltdown until a couple of weeks later at the Rose party. I cursed out Sutton over an argument we'd had about Elton John's Oscar party ticket. Sutton claimed she purchased the tickets for me, which she didn't. We were personally invited by the charity and Elton himself. Apparently, I never said thank you for the Oscar tickets, even though I didn't get them from her. While at the same time, I demanded a thank you from Garcelle for giving her a jar of Harry's pasta sauce. Oh, the hypocrisy. I will fucking cut you down, I screeched at Sutton before kicking her out the house. Was my anger misplaced? Totally. Looking back, I know it was the grief, but I got fed up. I was sick of the bullshit, and I fucking lost it on the girl who pushed my buttons the most. I full on raged at her, and I continued to take it out on Garcelle, and I continued to take it out on Garcelle. Erica Jane posted someone throwing Garcelle's memoir in the trash. Ooh, and she put in parentheses, "Feel free to return the favor now." At the reunion, we copped to the truth. I made the video tossing it in my garbage because she discussed my daughter's eating disorder without permission, and it pissed me off. That's not okay. Erica posted it and got all the grief because there were plastic bottles that Harry had put in there. So it looks like Erica didn't recycle. Oops. That is hilarious. That's the behind the scenes stuff that we didn't know about, okay? I went a little rogue on social media, bad mouthing the whole show, my castmates, Andy Cohen, anyone in my line of sight. I posted a screenshot. Sorry, y'all. I posted a screenshot of my private text message I gotten from a crazed fan that said, "I'm gonna get you." It had his phone number on it. In retaliation, he doxed me and posted a message of mine that had my phone number on it. I got thousands of phone calls and had to change the number I'd had for 25 years. How did the fan get her phone number? She said, "A crazed fan." How did the fan get her phone number to send her a text message to her phone she'd had for 25 years? That's crazy. I reached out to everyone at Bravo, Senior VP Kathleen French, Andy, Alex Baskin, all the producers, and begged them to help me with the stalking. I'm in a tremendous amount of pain. Please, somebody help me. And none of them would. They just tried to pacify me and said they would see what they could do, but nobody ever did anything. I get it now. I can see where it looked like I was going a little crazy, not only on the show, but on the internet. I was really going through some scary, traumatizing stuff, and it felt like no one was listening or offering a helping hand. Maybe it was a cry for help, but I think that situation would drive anyone a little mad. Now, did Lisa ever was she ever found out to be the one that had hired the bot to torture Garcelle's son? Let me know in the comments if y'all remember that. Did Lisa Rinna did that ever come out who hired the bots to torture Garcelle's son? Andy publicly called my rampage disastrous and said I lacked impulse control. At BravoCon, waiting backstage to go on, Erica turned to me and warned, "Just be prepared, you might get booed." Really? Okay. That took me off guard, but I'm glad she told me. The warning was helpful because when I got booed, I wasn't shocked or hurt. In Medford as a kid, I used to go watch live WWE matches at the Armory, and the fans always loved the villains the most. So, pumped on adrenaline, I flipped off the BravoCon audience and took my seat like I was one of those guys headed into the ring. Dang, Lisa. I forgot when you did that. I forgot when Lisa flipped the audience off. Ugh. By the way, there were also a lot of fans cheering for me. It wasn't quite as dramatic as what was reported, but I considered the boos a badge of honor thanks to my love of wrestling. I wasn't devastated. It was more like, wow, I really hit a nerve, didn't I? Listen, I was deserving of some of this backlash after 8 years on the show. Absolutely. People were gunning for me to take a wrong step, and I handed it to them on a silver platter. I had so much repressed anger from my mother's death, then from my mother's death then, and the feeling that I was forced to go back to work too soon, that would make someone feel hostile, y'all. This is a side note. That would make anybody feel a little sort of way if you were forced to go back to work by this $1,000,000, multi-million-dollar, um, network. Like, they could have afforded to let Lisa have a couple of weeks off. It's not like it's a small company who can't deal without her, who can't do it without her, you know what I'm saying? She says, "I had so much repressed anger from my mother's death and the feeling that I was forced to go back to work too soon. After that, the rage, which you feel in grief, was real and it was on. I really lost my mind. I started acting out loudly on social media. I was just calling people out. I even called Donald Trump out. I mean, who knows what I even did? I was in a fog of my own grief." The thing about grief is it makes people very uncomfortable, in part because it reminds them of mortality, but also because everyone handles grief differently. It's volatile, and no one knows exactly the type of person you're going to be or how you're going to behave while grieving. It forces out ugly, uncomfortable emotions. In my case, we all know what happened. I definitely could have handled myself better, but I also think everyone could have had a little more patience with me at the time, all things considered. I've always had my lovers and haters, but the audience really turned on me full force. I was called vile and evil, and I got death threats. People thought I was legit nuts and needed a 5150 hold. If y'all don't know, that's when they take you involuntarily and put you in the psych ward for a couple of days. Somebody should have pulled me aside and said, "Okay, Rinna, enough already." But instead, they were judging me, calling me names like "stupid monster." Andy Cohen begged me to get off social media. He was admonishing me and making me feel like I was crazy too. Nobody was doing it in a way that would help me. Nobody took me aside and hugged me and said, "Girl, I'm here for you. What do you need?" No one. So the rage happened and it felt out of control because it was out of control. Listen, I have to grieve in public. Most people don't have to do that. My grieving process was to rage on a television show and on social media in front of the world. It was embarrassing. At the time, it was hurtful that people didn't allow me time. Instead, they villainized me. In my opinion, I was not trying to push people's buttons. My grief was too much for the fans to handle. So they had to make me the bad guy. I became the scapegoat for whatever reason, whether the girls or the fans were just waiting to come for me. I'm not sure. Maybe I deserved it for what I had done in the other years, but always has to be a villain on the show. If you watch all 8 of my seasons, you wouldn't say, "Oh my god, Lisa is so different in season 8." I'm really the same. Let's not forget my debut season way back in the Masonic era of 2014. I hurled a wine glass at Kim. But after my mom's death, I became public enemy number 1 in the RHOBH verse. She ain't lying. She not lying about that. I remember that. Like, I remember that. Oh, man. And it was also because she was beefing with Garcelle. At the time, Garcelle was, like a fan favorite. Garcelle was a fan favorite, and Rinna was beefing with Garcelle, and she just admitted earlier in this book in chapter 1 of You Better Believe I'm Gonna Talk About It, that she kinda took out her grief on Garcelle. She should have gotten a little deeper into that. I'm not gonna, hold it against her though, we're gonna see because 'cause we're just getting into the book, and so far it's very good, and hopefully she'll get a little further into that and maybe even issue her own apologies in this book. It seems like she's owning stuff, but she's also still assigning blame. Like, she'll say, "Yeah, I did this, but they did this. I did this, however, they did this." So she is while she is owning her stuff, she's definitely still holding everybody else accountable too. So she's gonna force them to own it whether they want to or not. Okay, Lisa, let's continue. It was beyond horrible, so much so that continuing on the show didn't seem worth it anymore, but leaving was easier said than done. And the truth is, I always wanted to leave. That was not new. At the end of every season, I'd after I'd gone so hard and gave my all, I would turn to Harry and say, "I'm done. Don't ever let me go back. I'm not going back." Then I go back. It's kinda like childbirth. All the stress, the drama, the trauma, then months would go by between seasons, and I kinda forget how hard it was and think, it wasn't that bad. Alright, I'll go back and I'll do it again." I was still trying to make a decision when a few months after my mom died, she came to me in a dream. "You need to leave now," Lois said. "It's time for you to go." This is the juncture where it all changed. The aha moment. And my mom orchestrated the whole thing. Because guess what? If she hadn't come to me, I would still be there. I'm a worker bee actor, and we respond to a paycheck and a steady gig. There's nothing better than that. Also, as Harry would say, that show made you so famous, and who doesn't love that? I mean, that's the truth of it. Look at all the people who want to do the show who have plenty of money. It's because they want the fame. I was more famous than I'd ever been. I was making a salary. What would make me leave the show unless it got so bad that I couldn't take it anymore? And that's exactly what happened. I just couldn't do it. There was no way I was gonna live my life in this negativity anymore. I thought about announcing I quit on the season 12 reunion show, but decided not to. Maybe I should have, because when I arrived at the reunion taping, it was clear I was a sitting duck. We had already been filming for hours when Kathy Hilson came into the studio to film her part. Ooh, it's about to get good, y'all. We had one of the most brutal dust-ups in franchise history, so she was obviously coming in for the grand finale, guns a-blazing. Ooh, okay. You guys, y'all might wanna pause it and go get your drink. It's about to get good. She's about to talk about Kathy. Let me put my face back on the screen so y'all can see how serious I am. She is about Lisa Rinna in her book, you better believe I'm gonna talk about it, is about to talk about the incident with Kathy, which she witnessed Kathy supposedly doing. I'm about to read that part in this book. If y'all wanna pause it and go get your drink, you might wanna do that now because y'all, it's about to get messy. Get your napkin because it's about to get messy, okay? It's about to get messy. Get your napkins, baby. Here we go. Let me say this too, I keep taking myself off the screen, y'all, because I'm squinting and stuff to see, and, I don't want y'all to see all that, so I'll come back on when y'all need to see my expressions and my facial expressions, but I'm gonna go ahead and take myself off while I read. That's alright. If y'all tell me if you guys prefer it a certain way. If y'all would rather me be on the screen reading, like, leave me a 2 in the chat. If you don't mind me reading it like a voiceover style, leave me a 3 in the chat. Even if it's in the replay, I would appreciate the feedback. I would absolutely appreciate the feedback. Just so I wanna make it good for y'all, I wanna make it nice. I wanna make it nice, like Dorinda would say. So y'all let me know. Okay, peeps, here we go. She's about to start the story with Kathy. It's about to get serious, y'all. She says, "Here's the true story." Ooh, I gotta come back on camera for this, 'cause I want y'all to see my expressions, and y'all, we gonna talk about this. Okay. Okay, here's the true story. I witnessed Kathy's bad behavior over the course of filming that season, especially on our trip to Aspen, and I think the Hiltons had tried to hide it. What behavior is she talking about? That had been their goal the entire time. They spent years and years covering it up, and all of a sudden, I've called it out on national TV. But I wasn't gonna protect her. I was gonna call her out on it, and that is what I did. That night in Aspen, she came back from the club to the house where we were staying at and had an absolute meltdown in the dark. There were no lights on. She flipped out, pounding on the walls, screaming and yelling, and absolutely losing her fucking shit, and it scared me. I had never, ever had anybody behave like that in front of me in my entire life, and it freaked me the fuck out. I spoke of it, and I was villainized for that. I didn't understand, although now I do. Because that machine, the Hilton Richards machine, has really done a lot of work to keep that undercover. They were not about to let Lisa Rinna fuck that up. Bravo went along with it, and so did Andy Cohen. Ooh! I went down for it and took the fall because they spent too many years and too much money protecting their name. God, where is the sound effects? We need a sound effect on that one, Lisa mother effing Rinna. Let me put my damn banner up here. My damn oh, where is my banner too? Okay. Cause I don't need Kathy Hilton them coming after me behind Lisa Rinna's book. Cause I'm reading the book. I don't need Kathy and them coming up behind me, behind Lisa Rinna's book. Lisa said it, I didn't. I'm gonna read it again though, because y'all need to hear that again. And I wanna be a little extra and put a little, sound effect on. I need a little background music too. Do y'all like the background music in the back while I'm reading? Let me know about that too in the chat. Let me know or in the comments. Okay. Are y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready for this? Lisa is talking about her and Kathy. And this is what she said happened. Here's the true story. I witnessed Kathy's bad behavior over the course of filming that season, especially on our trip to Aspen, and I think the Hiltons had tried to hide it. They had been that had been their goal the entire time. They spent years and years covering it up, and all of a sudden I've called it out on national TV. But I wasn't going to protect her. I was going to call her out on it. And that's what I did. That night in Aspen, she came back from the club to the house we were staying at and had an absolute meltdown in the dark. There were no lights on. She flipped out, was pounding on the walls, screaming and yelling and absolutely losing her effing shit. And it scared me. I had never, ever had anybody behave like that in front of me in my entire life. And it freaked me the fuck out. I spoke of it and I was villainized for that. I didn't understand, although I do now because that machine, the Hilton Richards machine, has really done a lot of work to keep that undercover. They were not about to let Lisa Rinna fuck that up. Bravo went along with it, and so did Andy Cohen. I went down for it and took the fall because they spent too many years and too much money protecting their name. Are you kidding me? Lisa. Lisa. The show doesn't allow us to bring anyone, no publicists, no agents, no assistants to the reunion. You can bring a hair and makeup person, so I always use either Scott King or Joey Maloof, but allowing anyone else on set is very rare. That way we have zero protection and we are forced to engage with each other and are at our most vulnerable. We get a producer assigned to us. But if they are foe, not friend, you're in enemy territory from the moment you step foot in the studio. Wow. And y'all know what that makes me think about? Off subject with from this book, but still housewives related. Lisa Renner just said, we get a producer assigned to us, but they are foe, not friend. You're in enemy territory from the moment you step. You're in enemy territory from the moment you step foot in the studio. I thought about the fact that Carlos King produced Candy's wedding special. And there are so many receipts on that wedding special that are going to work in Todd's favor. And we all know that Candy and Carlos be beefing. I mean, I don't know what their relationship was like back then. I don't know what it was like back then, but is it a coincidence, like Nene would say? Is it a coincidence that Carlos King was a producer on that wedding special that is now going to be used to back Todd up? Was that a scheme that Todd and Carlos set up? Hmm. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We're gonna start that over. That's that paragraph, okay? We get a producer assigned to us, but they are foe, not friend. You're in enemy territory from the moment you step foot in the studio. Just picture us all safe in our dressing rooms for 3 hours while getting ready. Then we emerge from our cocoons in couture with makeup and hair rivaling RuPaul's Drag Race contestants. We look each other up and down, head to toe, before entering the arena for battle. She ain't lying. That's how they be acting too. When they come out, it's like, oh, you look good. Or oh, like, you see all their facial expressions when the other ladies walk out to join the reunion set. She's not lying about that. FYI, Bravo does not pay for our outfits. We have to buy our always short dresses ourselves. They don't have to be short, which we had to get approved by the network prior to taping. We're supposed to give them 3 choices, but I always just said, this is what I'm wearing, deal with it. Why does she say always short? I wonder if they told her she had to wear short, because we see ball gowns and a lot of the other ladies. Does Beverly Hills always wear short dresses? Or I wonder if there's somebody on the cast who always wants to wear a short dress, and then they always have to wear short dresses. I'm not sure about that. I don't know where she got that from. I'm ashamed to admit that I bought my first season reunion dress from Net-a-Porter, left the tag on, and returned it right after the taping. But I felt so guilty about it, and I never did that again, and almost went broke buying bazillion-dollar dresses for the next 7 finales. No designer is going to loan a dress for the toxic mess that is the Housewives reunion. Wow. I always thought they could get designers to loan them dresses and stuff for the reunions. I didn't realize they had to buy all their own reunion looks. We see the set for the first time and find out where we're sitting. And that's when you get the first inkling of what's about to go down. who you're on the couch with, how close you are to Andy, it all matters. We always thought that it matters. We always, as the viewers, we always thought that the reunion seating mattered. And so now we have Lisa Rinna in the book confirming that the seating does matter. And so it's going to be interesting to hear her take on it and on how they feel about it. Okay, we see the set for the first time and find out where we're sitting. And that's when you get the first inkling of what's about to go down. Who you're on the couch with and how close you are to Andy, it all matters. I always make sure to come to the couch with my receipts, face powder for touch-ups, and any other props needed to make a point. I know that's right, Lisa. I did 8 of those things, and they were all different and weird. Anywho, back to the season 12 reunion. All of a sudden, I saw Kathy's publicist, Andy Gelb, Gelb. He's big time. Bravo must have allowed it because normally we were not allowed to have anyone there with us. She had her weighted security blanket, and I had nobody. They were coming for me. So my hackles went up, my claws came out, and I began preparing for war. I remember the moment Kathy sat down across from me with her purse. It was such a setup. Kathy's my confrontation. Kathy and my confrontation was the big act 3, meat of that year's reunion. Everybody had been waiting for it. It was all fluff up until that point, and off we went. The only person who was there for me was Erica. Right after the reunion, she came into my dressing room with tears rolling down her cheeks. "You must never come back," she insisted. I thought about the first time I met Erica. She came over to my house for a dessert party. We were making chocolates. I didn't know anything about her, but I instantly liked her even though she showed up with Yolanda Hadid. Yolanda and I had a history of beefs. For some reason, when Erica was leaving my house, I felt compelled to give her some advice. I pulled her aside and said, "We work for gangsters. Don't ever forget that." It was like Vegas. Bravo was the casino. We're the players. And the house always wins. We'd come full circle. I think that's a good place to stop. I think that is a good place to stop. Wow, you guys. So far, I am very intrigued. I am very intrigued. If the video wasn't already an hour and 32 minutes, I would keep going. But I don't want it to be too long because I don't want you guys to get bored watching. If you have watched this long, though, I certainly appreciate it. I certainly appreciate it. And again, subscribe, y'all. Subscribe so you guys can get notifications when I upload the next chapter, okay? So I'm definitely going to do that. And we're going to keep this book club thing going. I like it. I think I want to do one of the books that Nene wrote too, because I know she's returning to Housewives, and Nene has always been one of my favorites. And I think she's one of the most misunderstood people in Real Housewives history. So I would love to get a little deeper insight into who she is and why she is the way she is as well. So if you guys would like to hear that, let me know that in the comments too. If there's anybody else you guys want to hear, anyone else in particular, let me know. Just tell me and we can do that. Okay. Thanks for joining me in this suite, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this live and end right there, but I'm going to put a little bookmark and we're going to come back and we're going to watch, or we're going to keep reading. We're going to keep reading. If you guys are, again, if y'all are still here, thank you so much to the person that was joining me from Scotland this evening. I think that is so awesome. Thank you to my baby, Riley. Thank you so much, baby. You're so supportive. I love that. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to end this live, but I will be posting it, y'all. So if you guys want to go back, I just read the first part of chapter 1, and it went on for an hour and a half. So I'm going to end it right now, but y'all subscribe to my channel and like the video. Leave me some comments. Let's talk about it like a book club, okay? So I'll come back and read the next little bit. Within the next couple of days, I'll set a little flyer up there and set the time for the live, okay? So thank you guys so much for joining me. Again, my name is Tanya. This is Sweet Tea, and this is the first edition of Reality Reads, our new book club. If you would like to be a part of it, don't forget to subscribe. It's free. It's free, y'all. And you guys could follow along or just listen to me read it, but I want to really discuss it. So when I'm able to gain and grow this audience and grow this community and have more people here in the lives, we can start coming up and talking about it and pausing and really discussing these books. And I think I would like that. If y'all would like that too, let me know in the comments. Until next time, from my sweet to your sweet. Peace out, beautiful people. See y'all later.